Education is the passport to the future. For the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Greetings, my friends and fellow companions. A very cordial welcome to all the treasured invitees, revered teachers, and of course, our startling participants and students. I appreciate your enthusiasm and participation in the annual Inter-House Debate Competition, organized by our club, the Sahitya Messinas. We are extremely honored to have Ms. Poonam Naika, mother of Tanishi Naika, Ms. Swati Yadav, mother of Pranav Yadav, as our judges today. We are thankful to you for taking the time out of your busy schedules and joining us today. Today, I, Tia Shukla, and Shatakshi Srivastava are delighted by your presence. As correctly quoted by Albert Einstein, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Today, we have gathered to dive further into this issue and deliberate upon whether the new education policy of 2020 can help us achieve this.
The rules of the competition are each participant from each team will have to speak for the motion and the other one will have to speak against the motion. Each participant will be given a total of 3 minutes, 2 minutes for speaking and 1 minute for refutation. And as for the refutation round, the participants willing to question need to put their names in the chat box. I hope the rules are clear.
Now, without no further ado, let us find out who is going to break the ice. I invite our first speaker from Team 1 to present their views for the motion.
I would like to confirm that I am clearly audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Rote learning provides information, but understanding provides knowledge. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. Today I, Chagyasha, am here to discuss a few points for the motion. NEP is going to be a game changer and will benefit the new generation for dominating the global education and helping to make the revolution for New India. After 34 years, a new NEP has been drafted, which envisages broad-based, multidisciplinary, holistic undergraduate education with integration of vocational education, multiple entry and exit points with appropriate certification, along with flexible curriculum and creative combination of subjects. For example, if someone chooses bio and dance, they may become a doctor who have the capability of dancing. And in this COVID situation, we have seen numerous nurses and doctors who were dancing to enlighten their mind and to convey their messages to the public. Along with this, the 10+2 structure of the school curriculum is to be replaced by a 5+3 plus 3+4 curriculum structure. This structure leads to a great foundation for the first few years of schooling, which is a magnificent initiative taken by the government to gain knowledge and skill in place of just numbers and certificates. In this policy, mother tongue would be a medium of instruction till 5th grade. The future is of AI and ML, and to keep self future fit, there would be the implementation of coding from 6th grade along with internships. A dedicated unit for the purpose of orchestrating the building of digital infrastructure and digital content will be created to look after the educational needs. At the end, I would like to conclude that this will collectively help the students to develop a scientific and social temper from a young age. This would focus on application learning rather than rote learning. Thank you so much.
I would like to begin the refutation round. Any participant willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Tabish, you may ask your question.
Yes, thank you for giving me a chance. I would just like to ask Jigansha Didi that she talked about the mother tongue, means it gives a platform for you to speak till class 5th, means to learn in your mother tongue. My question is that how is it going to benefit for migrant families, or in the case of Adivasi families? Just I would give you an example, like a Marathi speaking family from Maharashtra travels, means his father or his mother gets transferred to Lucknow. So how is he or she going to manage the language difference according to the mother tongue which you have said?
Thank you for the question, Kavish. I acknowledge it. I would like to say that the basic concept of introducing mother tongue in the NEP is that we hold on our culture, and since India is a secular country, it does not only focus on a particular culture and a particular religion. So what I would like to say that whenever we transfer or go to some other places, we should learn their culture, and we should hold on to their culture. For example, I have been living in Maharashtra from until around 10 years. So I have learned Marathi, and I guess that it's a very good thing that we hold on to someone else's culture also along with our culture. So I would say that this is why mother tongue is introduced. Thank you.
Actually, I would like to say that you talked. It's very good that you learned Marathi in when you were in Maharashtra. But the thing is that you are not expecting somewhat of till 5 classes. You don't expect children of class 1 to transform it. Means if someone is learning Marathi till class 1st, and then his father mother gets transferred, and then again he's gonna learn Hindi, English, or Urdu. So isn't that gonna fluctuate? And the central
Let me
government has not looked into it for sure.
Okay, let me give you an example. For example, the IAS officers, they need to learn the languages. For example, if someone of Maharashtra is posted in UP, so they need to learn the Hindi language. And learning that language in that stage of life where you are so much old, it becomes difficult. And we all know that these students, when we are younger, we have the capability to grasp things easily. So I guess that that's a very good point, that uh, mother tongue has been included in the NEP.
How in the case of Adivasi families has been it looked by the government? They have not looked on the Adivasi family structure. Means you don't expect in Jharkhand or somewhere around Chhattisgarh this has been implemented. You are not going to have that.
Okay, I would like to say that for the Adivasi families, um, they might introduce use they might introduce something else in the future if they face problem.
Uh, my thing is that NEP has been introduced after 34 years. It's a long gap of time. So why hasn't the government visualized this particular topic? Means you are introducing it, the mother tongue is being introduced, but it is not means it is not worthy of in the case of migrant families and Adivasi families. That is my question.
For migrant families, it is. For Adivasi families, I would like to say that for the Adivasi families, what do you think the language of Adivasi families would be? There might be Anganwadi schools where the teachers will be employed to speak in their language.
Can I say? Actually, there's means early childhood care education. It is a topic it is a particular thing in the NEP. So there the central government has not highlighted that any particular teacher means a high qualified teacher or a worker would be introduced in the Anganwadis. So how is it going to lift up that particular thing? If they are not talking about introducing special educators in the Anganwadis, nor they are thinking about the regional languages of Adivasis or in the case of migrant families. So surely NEP has missed the trick here.
See, like the language which Adivasi speaks, that is their mother tongue. So obviously, in the Anganwadi schools, the teachers will be employed to speak in their mother tongue so that they will understand their language.
I would say they should be employed, but it has not been guaranteed in the policy released right now. The policy says that means
The
it is not
policy
given a the policy hasn't given a guarantee that verified teachers or specially qualified teachers would be introduced in Anganwadi. So my thing is that means I am crossing you from two sides. So the two sides you have given me of the Adivasi families, the mother tongue, but that has not been implemented. That's my point.
Let me tell you one thing, the mother tongue is not only of us. The Adivasi families also have the mother tongue. Someone from Maharashtra also has its mother tongue. The Adivasi families living in a particular state or wherever, the teachers will be employed, where the teachers will be multilinguistic.
I
I'm
would
sorry to
say
interfere, but I would request the participants to adhere to the time limit and not exceed it even in the refutation round. Thank you.
I invite the next speaker from Team 1 to present their views against the motion.
I hope I am audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Heartfelt greetings to honorable teachers, judges, all members of the panel, on the floor and dear audience. I'm Tanvi Bhargav of class 9 and I'm here to present my arguments against the motion. I strongly believe that NEP 2020 won't be able to achieve the stated goal. Last year NEP 2020 was introduced, leading to a heated debate. And why not? It is high on amendments but low on their implementation to accomplish the goal of educating not to pass exams but to train for life. Why so? Firstly, the NEP 2020 emphasizes upon usage of mother language or native language, but studies show that learning a foreign language boosts the IQ. Hence, learning a new language and using it will be more significant in boosting the mind. It aspires to combine traditional knowledge with modern thinking and emphasize on technology. But a large number of students do not have access to such technology and gadgets. How would these excluded students benefit from the new modes of learning? It is definitely not flexible for poor and minorities. Adding to it, the policy doesn't provide a plan for synchronization between education, skill development, and labor ministries, which is vital for achieving desirable results from vocational training. NEP 2020 seems to be concerned regarding high standard education that could match foreign countries. But are the conditions of schools and colleges even matching them? Broken chairs, stable blackboards, lack of teachers? Is it possible to make a long-term sustainable plan with scanty resources? School readiness has been prioritized, but neither Angarwadi centers nor primary school grant the liberty to try new ways of learning. How can school readiness be achieved without infrastructure transformation and procedural modifications? To conclude, I would say that the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. NEP's vision of making Indian education capable of meeting the challenges of the 21st century will remain only on paper. Thank you.
I would like to begin the refutation round now. Any participants willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Vaishnavi, you may ask your question.
Greetings to one and all present here. Keeping the speech that you just gave right now, I'd like to highlight a point that NEP 2020 envisages an increase in education spending from 4.6 to 6% of GDP, which amounts to around 2.5 lakh crores per year. This money will be spent to handle the manufacturing. On top of which, from classes 6, vocational learning is to be introduced in schools and new job opportunities are to be increased. So don't you think all these points which have been clearly mentioned in NEP 2020 contradict what you just mentioned? How do you expect NEP 2020 with all these points already mentioned being opposed? Thank you.
First of all, you said the point for GDP. Like now in this pandemic, there's an economic crisis where we don't have enough money for even oxygen cylinders to provide oxygen cylinder to the needy people. So how can you expect that there are no policy, there's no means given in the new education policy that for such economic crisis, how you will maintain that level of the level of financial aid for education.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, but I'd like to just point out one more thing from my question. Ma'am, NEP is for education policy. It is not the bill, or neither is it something related to the medical opportunities. How do you expect NEP to point out points that are related to the medical status of India or the economy?
But
NEP is for education purposes only, ma'am.
When we don't have enough money to support the needy people who are dying right now, how can you assure that in future, if such pandemic or economic crisis occurs, then that percent of GDP will be given to education? And if that will be the situation, then I think that the economic level will be lower.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but do you realize that this pandemic case is something that does not happen every second year? It is one thing that has been faced by the whole world for the very first time. A pandemic that is lasting for like more than 1 year. And definitely no country is ready for it. India is trying its best. And until and unless you do not implement something, you do not expect the better of it.
For the pandemic years too.
Sorry, could you repeat your answer, please?
We have to be ready for pandemic years too.
All right, I got a satisfied answer. Thank you.
I would like to invite the next participant from Team 2 to express their views for the motion.
We want education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, The intellect is expanded, by which one can stand on one's own feet. My heartfelt greetings to one and all present here. I am Vaishnavi from class 10, and I hereby stand here to second the motion. Mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram once said, "School is a place where children are not kneaded into inert plastic material, but their intellectual, physical, and cultural needs are taken care of." Education is not the mere ability to gather objective information. Rather, it is the ability to develop your character and mind. India is considered a rapidly growing economy, and for its prosperous future, inclusive and high quality education is of utmost importance. We need to stop focusing on degrees and marks. Our current education system has transformed students into robots having hardly any knowledge or understanding. NEP 2020 will change this. We will see bright young adults with innovative approach towards life and work rather than pawns obsessing over mugging up bookish knowledge. NEP 2020 aims to make higher education multidisciplinary, meaning that students can choose streams of their own interest and calibers. Come to think of it, India being a population of 1.3 billion people could only produce 10 Nobel Prize laureates. Now, isn't this a sorry state of affairs? NEP 2020 will surely change this. This policy will help shape new India through real-world orientation in education of various academic subjects and also laying equally important emphasis on self-personal beliefs. Well, to conclude, I'd like to say, change is inevitable, and the ability to change is what makes a society future ready. Change has finally arrived after 34 years, making India an opportunable place to become a thriving, knowledgeable hub. Let's join together and stand to it. Thank you.
Judges, please note that the participant took 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I would like to begin the refutation round now. Any participants willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Tanvi, you may ask your question.
My question is, the 4-year graduation program unfortunately lets go of most of the benefits after approving dropouts in the first year in order to change streams. What is the purpose of allowing dropouts in the later stages? Why should a student even wait to complete 4 years to, if he receives a diploma in 2? Kindly justify it.
Well, so that the future of students is not clearly destroyed. Well, the government plans on implementing this structure so as to students who are not very sure of their future careers can handle it. For example, if I choose to get a degree in graduation for any subject and I, after 2 years, realize that this is not my forte and I definitely do not have to pursue my future in this and I need to change, those 2 years of my life won't be wasted. I'll get a degree accordingly for how many years I have stayed in that program. So those 2 years, I have a degree separate and then I can change a stream. I can choose subjects in which I want to make my future. So this way, the future of the students is not ruined. The precious years of the youthful students of our nation is not wasted. I'll have an extra degree if I do a few years in graduation and then I change my stream. So, was that satisfactory?
We only can ask one question, so it was satisfactory.
Well, thank you.
I invite the next speaker from Team 2 to express their views against the motion.
Sidney J. Harris said that the whole purpose of education is to turn mirror into windows. Everyone has the right to get education. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vedant Maurya and I'm from class 9th D. Today, I'm going to speak against the motion. So here we are talking about the National Education Policy 2020. According to this policy, till 5th class, students had to be taught in their mother tongue. Books like maths, English, science, etc. had to be published in different languages. But there's already a severe shortage of teachers in our country. So how they will teach them in their mother tongue? Exams, because of exams, we check our learning skill and understandings in a better way. But in this policy, students from playgroup to 2nd class have to give no exams. So how a student be able to develop a learning skill? And when they will reach 3rd class, they have to give exams. Learning is a habit that is to be developed in a child from the early childhood. English is the most spoken language in this world. But it is not focused too much in this new policy as it needs to be. In government school, English is not focused too much. But in private school, English will remain to be the language of communication. So you can see a vast difference between the student of a private school and a student of a government school. After English, Mandarin Chinese is the most spoken language in this world, but it is banned because of the disturbed relationship of India and China. So a policy introduced for the improvement of education system meant for doing so. There are many questions that needs to be asked. In my view, a policy introduced after 34 years need to be more effective than this because there are many drawbacks than this policy have benefits. So that's all I want to say. Thanks and have a good day.
I would like to begin the refutation round. Any participants willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Jigyansha, you may ask your question.
Thank you for acknowledging. I want to ask the question that, according to you, sir, you told that English is the most focused language and it has not been given that importance in the new NEP. English is not the medium of instruction in the new NEP, but they haven't cancelled out English. So I want to ask you that if a child comes from a family where the parents don't know how to speak in English, and you, according to you, it should be the medium of instruction. So what would be your answer to this?
I'm not saying that it should be the medium of communication or instruction, but it should be focused because globally, if you want to speak with a person of another country, you usually use English.
If it is not the medium of instruction, then what are the other ways you think that it should be focused more? Because it has given equal amount of footing in the
No,
NEP.
it is not given. It's not focused too much.
Can you say me how? They haven't cancelled out English from as a subject to learn. They have just cancelled it out from the medium of instruction.
I invite the next speaker to express their views.
Revolution is a much needed impetus for the growth of the human society. Reforms are needed in each and every field, especially in the field of education. The latest revolution in the system of Indian education has come with the origin of the National Education Policy 2020. This highly awaited policy will bring the desired changes in the field of education. Good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm Advika Vishwakarma and I'll be speaking for the motion. The first education policy was implemented in the year 1986, and after 34 long years, NEP 2020 came in existence. It focuses on experiential learning, equity, and discovery-based teaching learning methods and was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29 July 2020. According to this, schooling will start from 3 years and activity-based learning will be done below class 2. This will help the child to grasp the knowledge with the help of activities. Medium of instructions up to at least grade 5 will be done in mother tongue or regional language, which will help in developing the child's personal, social, and cultural identity and also develop their critical thinking and literacy skills. A child can even start coding or do internships to learn or gain work experience in their favorite field. There will be 10 bagless days from class 6 to 8 to learn other skills such as gardening, pottery, etc., which will expand their knowledge and skills. There is flexibility so that the learners have the ability to choose their own paths, and there is a 4-year multidisciplinary program to complete the degree after a break. Don't you think this will help a child to learn the concepts more practically rather than mugging up theories? According to David A. Kolb, an American educator, learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Thank you.
I would like to begin the refutation round. Any participants willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Tanvi, you may ask your question.
Thank you for recognition. Dear friend, my question to you is, policy has opened the doors for foreign university to have campuses in India. Will they provide reservation to economically poor students, and can NEP 2020 motivate students to study in India instead of going abroad, keeping them connected to their very own country and culture?
Yes, of course, they will.
How?
See, NEP, the policy, it is that it supports everybody, either the person is poor or rich, everybody. So they will, of course, support.
I asked how, which means they will adopt to support them.
They will give seats to every poor or rich child, whether the person is poor or the person is rich. So that way they will support.
All right, now I would like to invite the next speaker from Team 3 to express their views against the motion.
Greetings everyone. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Students learn from mistakes, but imagine Learning from a system full of mistakes. National education policy introduces to us multilingualism, under which students are allowed to learn their local language. But don't you think so? This will discriminate students on the basis of language. Also, a student belonging from a different cultural background will find it difficult to cope up with his studies. Secondly, introducing policies like multilingualism, necessary coding is gonna overburden the teachers. We already have a disturbed ratio of student and teachers in India. How are you gonna cope up with this? Next, NEP recognizes online education, but it fails to explore it any further. NEP, all NEP introduces is just an app where we can download PDFs of NCRT books. Is that all? Next, we have system of selection of streams. Everyone has been appreciating it so much, but don't you think so that with so many combinations, we might suffer from a combination where students don't have any future opportunities? Who is gonna counsel us for that? NEP doesn't recognize that. Who is gonna do that? NEP is meant to be doing that, but it doesn't recognize it at all. Next, NEP says that students of 10th class are gonna get a revised question paper. But this revised question paper will recognize the type of problems we are facing today. Is it gonna support digitalization? Let us see what happens. A famous quote says that education and knowledge is the best investment and it pays the best interest. But I think with this new education policy, this interest is subjected to market risk. Thank you for listening us obediently. Thank you.
Judges, please note that the participant took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Now I would like to begin the refutation round again. Any participants willing to question may put their names. Jigyansha, you may ask your question.
Thank you for acknowledging me. My dear friend, I wanted to ask you that you mentioned in your speech that the online education will not be implemented well. Only the PDFs are going to be introduced by the NCRT. I want to say that in the NEP, they have introduced they have said that the Ministry of Education could play a crucial role in making the online education affordable by promoting the use of TV and DTH, in which the news channels will show the online classes. Please answer my question. That how
Yes.
did you say that?
Thank you, Jigyansha. Now let me clear up my point first. I said that all NEP recognizes is online education and all it has introduced is Diksha app where we can download the PDFs of NCRT book. Do you think so? Is that all? NCRT books are gonna do the education? We don't need an app for online meetings and all? Don't you think so? That must be implemented.
Sir, I
But
guess you,
it doesn't say
my dear
anything
friend,
about that.
my dear friend, I guess you
Yes.
didn't hear my question properly. I said that the in the new NEP, it has been said that they will promote the online education using the TV and DTH, in which the news channels will show the online classes. It's not only the Diksha app in which they will just provide the PDFs and you have to learn through that.
Jigyansha, can you please tell me the source of your information? Because I haven't heard anything like this. Can you show me where in draft it's written? I have the draft on my screen, but I can't see that. Can you please highlight that?
Sir, currently, my dear friend, I'm currently not having the draft, but I'm currently not having it, but I can say that it is written in the draft.
No, Jigyansha, it's not written. I have the draft on my screen.
No comments. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I invite the next participant from Team 4 to express their views for the motion.
I'll just like to confirm that am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thanks a lot. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. My greetings to one and all present here. People often judge our caliber through the marks we score. They don't realize that education does not mean cramming of facts. Rather, it is associated with the training of one's mind. So here I am, Abhidup Gohar, to present my views for the topic and the motion. Because of COVID-19, we have gone through a revolution the last year, especially in our education sector. We went online, leaving our physical classrooms behind. And in the meanwhile, the government came up with the new education policy of 2020. The NEP 2020 introduced several reforms for the welfare of the students. One of the best out of these was to change the pattern how assessments will be taken. According to it, now the assessments will focus more on thinking, practical, aptitude, and logical skills rather than bookish knowledge of long answers and definitions. Now it has also abolished the 10th board exams. The word in itself gives you tremendous pressure. And I can tell that very accurately because I am under the very same pressure. So this might be a way to lessen that pressure, which is actually very great. Moving further, now it has been made compulsory for you to study in your mother tongue up till class 5. Now studying in your mother tongue, which is rooted with your extremely rich culture, is going to keep you binded with your heritage forever and ever. In fact, there is a saying in Sanskrit, Vidya dadati vinayam, meaning education confers humility. The last point which I would like to add is that now it is not compulsory for you to do graduation in the same stream for which you have opted in class 11. Now, I think that this is beneficial for those who are not clear at an initial level about their career. That's all what I wish to say, and I would like to conclude by saying that education is a very powerful instrument. If not used judiciously, can cause disasters. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
I would like to begin the refutation round again. Any participants willing to question? Yes, Ayush, you may ask your question.
Yes, thank you. Abhirup, you said in your speech that 10th boards are abolished, but I see it nowhere that 10th boards are abolished. 10th boards are not abolished. That was a WhatsApp rumor.
See, 10th boards are abolished that everybody knows because now they're after.
On my screen, 10th boards are not abolished.
Sorry?
I have the draft on my screen, as I said earlier. 10th boards are not abolished.
See, what I have read from the NEP sites I got to know that from the next year the boards are not going to be there for class 10.
Can I know the source of your information?
You want to know the source of my information? Actually, I don't have the website onto my screen and I don't remember the name too.
If it is Wikipedia or something like that?
No, not Wikipedia, please.
Wrong. 10 boards are not abolished.
Okay, maybe that would be your perspective, but I still don't agree to that.
You may please search that. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite the next participant from Team 4 to express their views against the motion.
I hope I am visible and we always have a perception regarding everything we see around. At times we reflect it, but even we hide it deep in our thoughts. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mohammad Tabish Irfan of 9th here. Education is not learning of facts. Indeed, it is a training of mind. But did NEP 2020 achieve this? I feel a bit shy to answer this as positive. After a gap of 34 years, the central government has now come out with a new education policy. Undoubtedly, during the past 3 decades, we have witnessed monumental changes in the field of information and communication technology. As a result, the education sector has to transform itself to cope with the requirements of an emerging knowledge economy. So, NEP 2020 was supposed to impose it, but if you all have my say, there are various misses in the policy, which I will be proving through some of my concerns. My first concern is the early childhood care and education. So here there is lack of clarity around whether every Anganwadi or pre-primary center would be equipped with a high quality teacher and a worker that is a Sevika. My next concern is about the foundational literacy and numeracy. So basically here there is no definition of what a basic text is, against which literacy will be measured. And if this is not looked at, then one can fear of the blunders made in the policy. My following concern is about the curriculum and pedagogy in school. The issue of child's mother tongue being different from the local language used for instruction in schools in the case of migrant and Adivasi families has not been looked at, and surely the central government missed the trick here. My concluding concern is about the teacher and teacher education. So here, there is no strong commitment to improving support for special education. The policy talks about a step-up course for special educators, but that's not adequate unless the number of special educators is increased in appropriate ratio with the number of students present in India. Therefore, despite coming after a gap of such a long time, the central government, the apex level government has missed the trick. There are faults in it, there are blunders in it, which is not to be recognized and which should be addressed. And for that, we need amendments in the NEP 2020. Now, I would like to conclude myself and surely would say we hope better for the NEP released. Thank you.
I would like to begin the refutation round. Any participants willing to question, please put your names. Advika, you may ask your question.
Thank you. My dear friend, there's one thing in NEP. They have said that wherever possible, the medium of instruction till class 5 will be in the mother tongue or regional language. And second of all, that they have said that it depends on the state, the school, and the student to choose their language. So how do you support? Then what are you going to say to oppose this?
Actually, I would say I mentioned 2 points. One was the first, which I said about the early childhood care education. My second point was about the curriculum in the schools. So I would say that what the question about said by you was that the regional languages, that it is about the child, means the child can choose whatever he want to study. But do you think is it possible? Means one would be teaching the mother tongue, one would be teaching in the regional language, one would be teaching in maths, one would be teaching maths in regional language. So is it possible? Because there is no strong commitment to improving support for special educators. Means the number of teachers is not verified that they would be increased. The highly qualified teachers are not going to be increased. So that is what I wanted to say. Means I hope I would have satisfied you.
It depends on the school also, not only the child, the school, the state.
Okay. So maybe the student want to learn in regional language, then and the school wants to learn in the school wants to teach in the normal language, and the student want to reach to study in the regional language. Then how would the school manage?
The child has to follow the school's instructions.
Okay, the child has to follow the school instruction. But the NEP said no, that the child would be given enough, means it would be given enough chance to study in whichever language he has. Isn't it contradicting what the NEP has said and what you are saying right now? Means the crossing beyond which points? I think now I would have satisfied.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Since all our participants have made their points, I would like to open the refutation round to the audience. Anybody in the audience willing to question, please put your names in the chat box. Yes, Shandi, you may ask your question.
My question is for the opposition. Like all my friends who spoke about for the opposition, like against the motion, there was a point that they mentioned that their mother tongue is like the NEP 2020 is like imposing mother tongue in schools. Okay, so everyone is saying that English is being removed because mother tongue is being imposed for the primary section. But don't you all think that, like, I just want to ask, was English an initial language of the Indians? Like, I'm talking about Indians, not Hindu or any regional like not on any regional boundaries. English wasn't. When Britishers came to India and when they left after some years or whatever the time period was, English was then imposed, and now also English is being spoken. But just take me at that point. If a person scores 90% in English medium and another person scores 90% in Hindi medium, some mentalities in the society are still there that the English medium is still more educated than the Hindi medium, and that is the main motive of NEP, to remove that social like mentality of the society that the someone who knows English and the another person who knows his regional language should not be discriminated. So how do you support? How you contradict on this point? Because if you're going any foreign country, like for example Germany, if any person doesn't know how to speak English, they will not make you feel ashamed of it. But in India, if you take this case and if you don't know, if anyone's parents even don't know to how to speak in English, they would be made ashamed many of the times. And that is the main motive of NEP, to remove that discrimination.
Can I answer?
Yes, sure, Tabish, you can answer.
Okay, so you talked about that Britishers came and they left English. Actually, last year I was in class 8. There I studied, I learned or
Let me just correct you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. But let me just correct you. I didn't say that Britishers left English. I just said when they left India, English was still there. And now also it is being continued.
I felt you said that English was imposed on us. Means if you, okay, then also I'm just clarifying it. When English Britishers came, they left. And in the Constituent Assembly, there was a debate that some wanted to go for Hindi, while the rest, the South Indian states wanted to go for English, because their party, Sri Ramalu, he was a Telugu activist of that time, and he demanded for the English-speaking nations. So it was all about, means everyone wanted, it was not that everyone agreed to Hindi, they wanted to have Hindi, and the Constituent Assembly imposed English on them, that English. There also there was a condition that English would be imposed only in the offices, in the schools, the administrative would only be done in English. But the regional languages, they were not imposed. They were being adopted from the region all where. So therefore, English was not imposed. And talking about, if you compare the educations, means if you are saying that English speaking are considered more educated, that is the problem of a social issue, and that is not. I think I can change. It can't be changed by a particular person. That is a social value which has been
I'm
established.
so sorry to again interrupt in between. I'm so sorry to again interrupt in between. But you said, sir, you clearly said that it is a social issue, and I think political parties are appointed to clear all the social issues.
Have they cleared it? I doubt it, because I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
are. Sir, they are.
Any example that could satisfy me?
Yeah, they have imposed NEP and they're taking regional language till primary sections. They're not taking English in the primary sections.
Just now you said that, means before only someone said that English is also an option, Hindi is also an option, regional language is also an option. So option is to everyone. It's not that you have to study mother tongue and the local language about means which has been
Earlier, so
introduced.
earlier the option was also not given. So earlier the option was also not given.
So isn't it a fault of NEP? NEP should have sorted it. Means I
So
am just
NEP is solving it, sir. So NEP is doing its work. The thing is, it has just implemented, and then we have not seen the results yet, and we are coming to a conclusion. Everything has its pros and its cons.
actually.
That's it.
I have a question. When I was in third, I asked my teacher, ma'am, why the ball goes up and comes down. I didn't know gravity till then. I got to know about it in later. My main motive was to contradict what is happening here. Means why is it going up and coming down? So that is the same what I'm doing right now. I'm questioning NEP. Maybe what the result is, I don't know. I'm not a future teller. I'm not gonna know what is gonna happen. I know that my work is to contradict what is wrong. I need to point out. That's my simple thing, which I am saying on.
I think,
I
Shanvi, you were
hope I would have
satisfied with your
satisfied.
answer. We will take one more question. So I think Manas wanted to ask something. Manas?
Yes, thank you for responding. So I have a question again for Tabish because I was having the draft in front of me and I saw this. He asked about the concern of teacher education, about the teachers who will teach the students. It is written clearly here, a new and compendious national curriculum framework for teacher education (NCFTE) will be formulated by the NCTE consultation with NCRT by 2030, in which the minimum degree qualification for teaching will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. Isn't that enough for a teacher to be teaching to the students? I guess that's very much enough for that. So that was what I pointed out in your speech, and so I wanted to mention. Thank you.
Should I say?
May I?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Yes. Actually, he asked me, therefore I'm just telling it. My last point of what I said was about the teacher and teacher education. There, if you would have looked upon my words, I have clarified it there. There is no strong commitment to improving special education. The policy talks about a step-up course for special educators, but that's not adequate unless the number of special educators is increased in appropriate ratio with the number of students present in India. So I feel that I have said my point. I have
According to me,
represented my.
what I think, increasing if a qualification has been set for the teachers, it all obviously would, because they have enough knowledge about the topic, and so they would pass it on to the students too. So I guess this special education would also be enhanced with that, if I'm not wrong.
Actually, I am means the source from where I knew about it means I got it from
I'm
the
having the document in front of me, so
means I studied. I'm remembering it means I knew that it was written. I'm very confident about that. Means I have
you may be
taken my
confident,
points.
sir, but I have the document in front of me, and I guess the documents won't lie. So that's what I would like to
Document.
say. And secondly, I have a very
Some,
small question for Ayush. Yes, you wanted to say something?
I just wanted to say that I have represented my point of view through that my last point about the teacher and teacher education. So I have told my point, and now means your source can be wrong or my
Yes.
source was correct.
Well, I have it from the National Education Policy site, so I'm sure it is not wrong.
Actually,
So
I
basically,
copied.
I
I
don't know
got it
what
from
your
there too.
source was. I'm sure you
Excuse
might
me,
have done
Manas
very well
and
from your
Kavish.
own source, but I have the real source in front of me, so I won't lie. Secondly, I have a question for Ayush here, a very short one, won't take much time. Ayush,
Yes, yes, please.
when you were answering someone, you said that class 10th boards are not cancelled. I have the source again in front of me. It is written Board exams shall be redesigned to encourage holistic development. The new
Yes,
policy
definitely
aims at
answered.
making board examinations easier by testing only students' core capacities. Now, just let me say something. Board exam
Yes,
which
ma'am.
was
Go
taken
ahead.
and the system which has now been created is completely different. You can't say that the same thing which was boards would also continue to be the boards. So there is a completely different change in the system, and according to me that would make it easier for the students only. So it is not that the boards have not been cancelled, the system has been changed, and so that the system is changed, boards
Manas,
are also not to be
Manas, may
considered.
I?
Yes, sure.
Manas, you said that books would be changed and they would be changed for holistic development. But do you think so? The whole board would be changed. The boards will remain the boards itself, right? The 10
Well, I
boards will
think,
remain the
well, if we go by just a small example of chemistry, I would say if you change something, if I rust iron, it would change its properties. So, similarly, if I'm completely changing the system, I'm changing it differently. So, boards won't be boards, it would be completely different thing, and we haven't
But
even
can you
seen
say
the
that iron is
implementation.
destroyed? But in that,
So,
can you
yeah,
say that
so
iron has been destroyed?
I'm just trying to
Certainly,
point out
boards are
iron
also
is
not
not.
abolished. They have been changed. They are not abolished. Just like in rusting, iron is not destroyed. The same way, boards have been abolished.
I guess the
Boards have
iron's
not been
physical
abolished,
state
but
changes.
changed.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, if the system is being changed, similarly the policies for students and the situation would also be changed for the students. So
Certainly,
boards
they are
which
changing it for
had a
holistic
very
development, but
which
not
had a very
abolishing it.
so I'm just trying to say which had a very deep pressure over the students. Similarly, it would not have the pressure again. So I guess boards are
Mani,
changed and that's what easy. Mm.
do you think so? Diluting the level of boards would help it for students?
I guess it is written holistic development. It is nowhere mentioned that, and even it is written that board and entrance exam will be changed so as to eliminate the need for undertaking coaching classes, which is a very major concern for the students here.
Have they explained what actually holistic development means?
Obviously, we know the meaning. What's there to
Have
be
they
explained?
explained it? The drafts
Well,
are
a
meant
word
to
can
have,
be searched from the dictionary. We all know the meaning of holistic, I guess.
but holistic
You can't.
needs to be explained in the draft itself, right? They haven't explained it properly, Manas. It could be something else other than what we are thinking it to be.
I'm sorry to interrupt both of you, but I think questions and answers have no end. They can go on forever, but we don't have forever. So I would like to end the debate here. The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. We all hope that the new education policy of 2020 will set forth immense possibilities for the students and will help to correct any existing flaws in the current educational system. The riveting remarks and the stirring comments made by all the participants surely set the ambience for the debate. Even the audience interaction was very much appreciated. Now, I would like our judges, Ms. Poonam Nayaka, to say a few words regarding the debate.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for this honor. And I'm so happy to be here. And it was a great session and very engaging. And yes, I feel that you all are very good. And the best thing is the communication skills are very good. And what I liked most was the confidence. Yes, you all are very confident, and I'm happy to see that, and really thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, looking forward for more such debates, and all the best to you, wishing you very best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, I would request Ms. Swati Yadav to add a few words to enlighten us with her knowledge.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think all of you were like wonderful, and it would be hard for me to judge any of you because you all are so um, well read, and you read the whole topic really deeply. And I did not know all those points that you pointed out. I would say that it would be hard for me to judge you all, but I have to, as I have been given this job, um, somebody would be the winner and somebody would be the second. But none of you, all of you have done wonderful, wonderful. And I would like to wish you all the best for whatever you are, hoping to be in your life, because you all are so enlightened at this age, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, judges. The results of the competition shall be declared very soon and will be posted on the respective class groups. To culminate the debate, I would like to quote Sri Rabindranath Tagore: "The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence." Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful day ahead.